Good evening, everybody. We just completed our executive session, so I'm going to ask for a motion to enter public session.
I'll make a motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Great. A motion has been made by Ms. Grosso and seconded by Mr. Dambola upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools. The Caldwell-West Caldwell Board of Education shall return to open session at approximately 7:02 p.m.
All
Right,
right,
thank
ayes?
Aye.
Nays? Abstentions? Motion carried.
Thank you. Brian, do you have any communications?
There are none.
Thank you. Dr. Conklin, Superintendent's report.
Yes, I'd like to introduce the House members from the middle school, Gianna and Abby. Abby, I told you I'd forget your names, I'm sorry. I knew it. So you didn't write them down.
Hi, my name is Gianna Tedesco, and I'm the House Leader for the House of Leadership. I would like to take a minute to tell you all about the fun and exciting things going on this past month at Grover Cleveland Middle School. We recently had an after-school Ghosts and Goblins tournament. Students from each house played against each other with endurance, taking the championship and earning their house 200 points. The students at GCMS are also participating in the HSA-sponsored Battle of the Houses readathon. Students log onto a website and are able to log the amount of minutes they read. As of right now, the top 3 houses in the lead are the House of Knowledge, the House of Endurance, and the House of Leadership. So far, we have raised a total of $820, with top individual contributions of $175. The readathon will continue to run throughout November 5th.
Hi, my name is Abby Enneman, and I am the House Leader for the House of Knowledge. Some other fun events we have had this past month at GCMS include a Spirit Week, a pumpkin carving contest, and Find the Fugitive Jack. Our Spirit Days are fun days when students get to dress up in a particular theme for the day. This week's theme included wearing orange and black, twinning with a friend, wearing pink for breast cancer awareness, sports jersey day, and Friday was wear your Halloween costume day. Students all submitted photos of pumpkin carvings that they created to Google Classroom. We then voted for our favorite one. Our winner was Eva Nikiforidis for the House of Citizenship. Her pumpkin featured a spooky ghost. On Friday, all the students at GCMS were bounty hunters on the search for 3 fugitive jacks. A few weeks ago, all of the students drew faces on cutout pumpkins. All of the pumpkins were hung around the school on Friday, and students had to find the 3 specific wanted ones that were posted on our Google Classroom house pages. Our 3 winning bounty hunters were Grace Bueno from the House of Responsibility, Anna D. from the House of Endurance, and me, Abigail Anneman from the House of Knowledge.
Thank you, Dr. Conklin, and the entire board for giving us the opportunity to speak at the meeting and have our voices heard.
We appreciate the time you have given us.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I did want to say those are our first presenters on our new video system, so everyone at home is actually watching us YouTube live. We don't have to go through Zoom anymore, so we're very excited about being able to do that. So.
Yay,
That's
thank
awesome.
you, girls.
Thank you.
Very nice.
Thank you very much. Okay, now for the President's report, I just wanted to give some highlights of some accomplishments from the Department of Athletics and Physical Education. For those who may or may not have seen on social media and everyplace else, our football team is currently 8-0. Playoffs are beginning. It's the first undefeated regular season in 30 years, or as Dr. Conklin likes to say, the first undefeated team since he's been here. Currently divisional champs. They're number 3 seed in the state playoffs, and they're actually playing at home versus Whippany Park on Friday night. Girls volleyball team is the Essex County tournament champs. They're number 3 in the state tournament, and they are advancing to they have advanced to the quarter round, and will play at home on Monday, or tonight actually, versus Montville. Cross country, also the Super Essex Conference champs, divisional champs, and they competed on 10:29, and the entire boys team of 7 runners all performed their personal bests in the meet. And they will be competing in the state sectionals coming up. Cheering. Cheering competed in the Cheer for the Cure at Bloomfield High School. They won the award for the best stunting, and they also won the divisional championship awards. And just some general things which I think just as a district and community we should be extremely proud of. We had 338 total fall participants in athletics. that was approximately 40% of the entire school population. So I just love the participation. They also, at the football games on 10/15, they collected food for the Caldwell Food Bank. And they also collected food and money. They presented to the food bank an amazing amount of food and also $1,200 in donations. And then on 10/22, similar contributions were made, and this was to benefit the West Essex Fire Squad, and approximately $1,700 was donated from the proceeds of that game. So again, I think just an incredible outreach from the community to support what is happening in our community, and a beautiful participation from our student body.
Board President, we had an email from the fire department thanking us for their donation and a letter from the food bank. So
Great,
they're very excited
Awesome.
to partner with us in that way.
beautiful. Thank you very much. Committee reports we will have next week. We'll have some committee reports. We will also be approving minutes. So right now, I'm going to open up for public comments on the agenda or anything else at this stage, okay? But we have to follow the following rules. Public participation shall be governed by the following. Participants must be recognized by the presiding officer and must preface your comments by an announcement of your name and address. Statements are to be limited to 3 minutes duration and may only can address any items. Participants may speak no more than once on the same topic until all others who wish to speak on that topic have been heard, and all statements shall be directed to the presiding officer. And then lastly, if you do have any questions or comments, please come up to the podium. Try that one more time. If you have any questions or comments, please come up to the podium. Go Chiefs, okay. Anything else? Okay, if we don't have any questions or comments, we do have one, I'm sorry. Please come up. Yes.
Honestly, I'm not used to this format.
That's okay.
It used to be a very informal format when I last attended meetings
That's
some
totally
time
fine.
ago.
We have a lot of new technology has been brought into the
Yes, I know, I
district, so this
understand
is
technology
one of
has
the-
changed and so forth. I'm not sure who I'm supposed to be addressing this to, who the
Yes, you can
presiding
just
officer, that's
Look
you?
straight ahead, sure.
Okay.
Just name and address, please.
Marilyn Blumnash, and I'm at 17 Fremont Road in West Caldwell. I had some questions regarding information as far as what's available online. I see that the minutes, the last posted minutes were back in September 20th, and the last recording of a meeting was back in June. And I'm just wondering how frequently that's updated, because the handout is just like the general minutes. It doesn't really go into details as far as what's covered at each meeting. So I wanted to find out methods to obtain that information. And some of the items that are listed on the agenda as far as the enrollment report, where is that available to the public? The enrollment report that's dated October 31st?
You have any other questions?
It
So we can probably
is-
address all three.
Is that available somewhere?
So let me hit the three questions, or let's make sure we summarize the three questions,
Okay.
and we hopefully get your answers to them.
I'm
So-
allowed 3 questions?
No, I just want to hit what you, so far, I jotted down, you have 3 questions.
Okay.
Is that accurate for where you're at right now?
I was just going over access to information
Sure.
that's noted on the agenda and on the website, like
Okay.
where I would obtain that information. Because there's a mention of the enrollment report as of October 31st.
Okay,
Is that available to the public?
that will be available to the public, right? So what's the latest we have up that's available to these guys?
So once the board agenda goes out and the meetings are done, then it'll be attached as
That'll
an
be
attachment.
attached.
Yep.
So I think what you said is the last minutes you see up on is September?
Yeah.
Is that what
Right,
you think
I
jotted
just,
down,
I'm
Lisa?
wondering if there's another way to get some of this information, because I see a lot of it is not updated, that the minutes were from September 20th, and the last recording was June 14th, and I'm just trying to find out information as far as what exactly is going on in the district as far as enrollment. I know you've received a lot of funds from the American Rescue Plan, so I also want to know if there's details on how that's being distributed. I see there's grants being allocated to different departments and so forth, but I want to know where that information would be available as well.
Sure. So let me try to address some, and correct me here if I'm incorrect. What's our typical delay in getting minutes up? It's usually
So right now, this is our public session, so we'll be voting on the minutes next week. And so we don't actually put them on the website until they've been approved.
No.
So that's why you're seeing September only. So once they're approved, we'll put up, which is next week, they should be approved, then it'll be up on the website, should be the next day.
Yeah, so the lag you're seeing in minutes is a typical lag, just based
Okay,
on the way
yeah,
the process
I know
kind of
that's
flows
pretty
through.
standard, it's just an outline of what's gone over. But where would I find, I know you said you're working on the report for the enrollment, but where would I find information on the details on how the grants are being allocated?
We kind of gave a summary of that last meeting, last month, I believe, right? So that should be in the minutes that should be included in the minutes that are approved next week.
Yeah, I know the totals, there's like general totals for certain areas, but is there any more detailed reports that are available?
Outside of the details of what we use the money from, do you have a specific question on what you're trying to
Dan,
get to?
if I
I'm just trying
may,
to determine like exactly, I mean, it's a substantial
Sure.
amount of funds that are being received, and I'm just wondering how it's being allocated and how it will also affect residents, taxpayers, because you had an increase back in May, so I'm just wondering how that will, the large amount of funds that you're receiving, how it will be used exactly and how it will impact taxpayers.
yeah, my recollection is that we have recordings of the meetings online still, right?
All the recordings are online, they should be available
So
through
it's
the
a little,
website.
yeah, ma'am, it's a little tricky. I'm not sure if, maybe we can get there from the website, but certainly I know there's, since we started this new process, there's a YouTube page where you can actually watch the entirety of all of the meetings that we've had for the last several months.
Right, yeah, the last meeting that's on there was back in June.
No, what I'm saying is, I understand that. Unfortunately, I think you have to go to YouTube.
You have to go to YouTube.
So if you go to YouTube and you type Caldwell-West Caldwell Board of Education,
Okay,
and you hit enter, you'll see actual record every meeting that we've had. It's in real time. So for example, this is going to be on almost immediately after we end our meeting. So
okay,
you'll be able to sit through, if you're so inclined, and see all of those things. I'm not saying you have to do that necessarily if the superintendent has another method of getting you that information, but it's not intuitive on the website,
right,
and I'm sure we're going to get there, where there will be a link and we'll be able to get you there. But that's how you can get, if you want to know exactly what happened in a meeting that's happened over the last several months, that's probably the best way to get the most information you can.
okay. But what about written reports?
The-
Where would you find that information?
So we have a budget detail report that's online. And then the American Rescue funds that we got from the federal government aren't designed to supplant, they're designed to supplement. So there'll be no cost savings for the taxpayer. Those are additional funds that the federal government
Okay.
gave us. They
Yeah.
can't actually be used to take the place of existing funds.
Right, that's.
So there's budget details that says
I
the
assume that, yeah.
American Rescue Plan funds are gonna be spent for $100,000 for, I'm just saying a number, for before and after school programs, so it's a budget detail. So you'll see that in the budget detail. It doesn't drill down specifically for this person gets this dollar amount, this person gets that dollar amount, but it talks about where the money is generally gonna be spent.
Okay,
And that's
so-
in the budget detail. If you go online, under the business office, you should see a budget. And again, some of the current ones, we just got another grant allocation. That money isn't yet allocated into the budget. Once it is, and we accept the funds, which you're seeing we're accepting them on this, then you'll see that kind of absorbed into the budget detail.
Okay, so I understand it's a supplement, but I would hope and anticipate that there wouldn't be any further tax increases with all this supplemental funding that the schools are receiving.
It doesn't, sadly, it doesn't work that way. It has to be spent in a 2-year period. It has to be spent on additional things beyond the current budget. So the current budget would continue to increase because these are running on a separate track in order for supplementing other activities, not supplanting the existing ones.
Okay, all right, I'll look for that information online. All right, thank
Any
you.
further questions? Okay,
Yes, thank you.
sure. Any other questions? Okay. If not, I'm going to ask for a motion to adjourn the public session.
I'll make the motion.
Do I have a second?
I will second it.
All right, so we have a motion from Ms. Grosso and a second by Mr. Dembola. Upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Caldwell-West Caldwell Board of Education meeting is now adjourned at approximately 7:17 p.m. Brian, you take the vote?
Ayes?
Aye.
Nays? Abstentions? Motion carried.
Thank you, everybody, for coming out.